Archan Mun Bhuridatta Thera. Founder of the Thai forest monk tradition. Archan Mun Bhuridatta Thera, 1870–1949, was a Thai Buddhist monk of Lao descent who is credited, along with his mentor, Pra Archan Sao Kantasalo Mahadara, with establishing the Thai forest tradition, the A-tae-na tradition, subsequently spread throughout Thailand and to several countries abroad. From 1932 to 1938, Archan Mun practiced meditation in various locations throughout the forests and mountains, in solitude with little contact with people. These years of solitary retreat into the rugged, inaccessible wilderness are very significant in the biography of Archan Mun. According to his disciples, he is said to have attained enlightenment or become an Arahant during his time in retreat here among the hill tribes in the mountains that hold a unique position in the shamanistic traditions of Thailand. Archan Mun was born on Thursday, January 20, 1870, in Ban Kambang, a farming village on the Mekong River in Ubon Ratchathani province of northeastern Thailand, Isan. The eldest of 8 children, he was born into a Lao-speaking family. Mun was first ordained as a novice monk at age 16 in the local village monastery of Kambang. As a youth, he studied Buddhist teachings, history, and folk legends in Khmer, Khmer, and Tham scripts from fragile palm leaf texts stored in the monastery library. He remained a novice for 2 years until 1888 when he needed to leave the monastery at his father's request. Archan Mun was fully ordained as a monk at 22 on June 12, 1893, at Wat-che-na Monastery in the provincial city of Ubon Ratchathani. Venerable Pra Arya Kavi was his preceptor. His announcing teacher was Venerable Pra Kru Prajakubal. Archan Mun was given the Buddhist name Bhuridatta, meaning blessed with wisdom, at his ordination. After ordination, Archan Mun practiced meditation with Archan Sao of Wat-che in Ubon, where he learned to practice the monastic traditions of Laos. Archan Sao taught Mun a meditation method to calm the mind, the mental repetition of the word Buddho. Archan Sao often took Archan Mun wandering and camping in the dense forests along the Mekong River, where they would practice meditation together. It is known as Thudong in Thai. One of the first long-distance Thudong was a pilgrimage to Wat Aranyawakse in Thaber district, Nong Khai province. At the time, Wat Aranyawakse was a ruin, an abandoned, overgrown temple in the jungle. During this early part of his monastic life, Archan Mun spent a year in illumination in the teak forest around the temple. 1899, Archan Mun was reordained in the Thammayut Nikaya, a reformed Thai sect emphasizing monastic disciples and scripture study. Having practiced under the guidance of his teacher for several years and with his teacher's blessings, Archan Mun went out on his own to search for advanced meditation teachers. During the next several years, he wandered extensively throughout Laos, Thailand, and Burma, practicing meditation in secluded forests. Archan Mun and Archan Sao went on a pilgrimage together in 1905. For centuries, they venerated the Phra That Shrine, a center of Theravada Buddhism, most sacred to the Lao people. Archan Mun then wandered alone to the north, to Sakhon Nakhon province on the highlands of the northeastern plateau, inland from the Mekong River, into the Phu Phan mountain range. Today, a museum of Archan Mun is located here in the temple residence of Wat Pa-ka-set-thi in the city of Nong Han Luang. He then wandered on toward Udon Thani, into a region that was a wild forest filled with prehistoric caves. He continued pilgrimage into the wildernesses of Loei, a land dreaded and feared by the Thai people, who describe it as beyond and to the furthest extreme of the world. This rugged wilderness along the Mekong consists of mountains and extremes of cold and hot weather. In 1911, Archan Mun decided to walk to Burma in search of a highly attained meditation teacher who could help him in his struggle for enlightenment. He walked by stages from northeast Thailand down to Bangkok through the wilderness mountain ranges. According to his student Thanissaro describe, Archan Mun's search took nearly 2 decades. It involved countless hardships as he trekked through Laos, central Thailand, and Burma jungles but never found the teacher he sought. Gradually, he realized that he would have to follow the Buddha's example and take the wilderness itself as his teacher. While in Burma, he visited the Shwedagon Pagoda at Moulmein in Lower Burma, in the Mon states. He was deeply affected by the morality, generosity, and solid monastic discipline of the Mon and Shan people he met. In 1912, Archan Mun spent the rains retreat at Wat Sa Pa Tum in Bangkok, receiving instructions and advice from His Eminence Pra-a-Pali of Wat Borom-Nivasan. After the rains retreat, he journeyed to Lopburi and stayed in various caves, such as Phakewang Cave, Mount Khao Prong Arm, and Singo Cave, where he practiced intensive meditation. In 1913, Archan Mun stayed in Sarika Cave at Great Mountain, Khao Yai, in Nakhon Nayok. It was during this time, at age 43, when he attained Anagaman. Anagaman is not reborn into the human world after death, but into the heaven of the pure abodes, where only Anagamans reside. According to the biography written by his disciple Luang Ta-ma Abwa, Archan Mun spent the next 2 or 3 years living at this location in the Khao Yai Mountains. He struggles with a mortal life-threatening illness during these years. A chapel shrine to Archan Mun is located at this cave today and is a significant pilgrimage site. Archan Mun's mode of practice was solitary and strict. He followed the Vinaya, monastic discipline, faithfully. Also, he observed many of what are known as the 13 classic Dhutanga, ascetic, practices, such as living off alms, wearing robes made of cast-off rags, dwelling in the forest, and eating only one meal a day. Searching out secluded places in the wilds of Thailand and Laos, he avoided the responsibilities of settled monastic life and spent long hours of the day and night in meditation. Despite his reclusive nature, he attracted a large following of students willing to endure the hardships of forest life to study with him. In the early 1920s, Archan Mun was increasingly recognized as a highly gifted teacher. During these years, he attracted growing numbers of disciples among both monks and laypeople. In 1926, he was accompanied by a group of 70 monks in a thudong to Diang Kokshang village, the Uthan district, heading toward Ubon. A controversy engulfed Archan Mun and his disciples at this time. The monastic authorities in Bangkok were imposing reforms intended to standardize and centralize the Sangha. They pressured the wandering forest monks to settle down in temples and become productive members of society. Monastic administrators were suspicious of these apparently vagrant monks who lived in wild forests and jungles beyond the realm of civilization. Archan Jan, the monastic administrator of the province, ordered the people to withhold support from the wandering monks. Civil authorities took several of Archan Mun's disciples into custody under suspicion of vagrancy. Archan Mun became increasingly concerned by the encroachments of modern ways threatening the traditional monastic customs in which he had been trained. In 1927, Archan Mun wandered by stages across the barren and sparsely populated lands of central Isan, sleeping under the occasional shade tree and receiving alms of food from the poor rice farmers along the way. When he reached the rugged, wild mountains and jungles of Dong Phaya Yen forest between Saraburi and Nakhon Ratchasima provinces, he rejoiced at the flora and fauna of nature. After the rains retreat in 1928, Archan Mun left northeast Thailand. He first went to Bangkok, then traveled north to Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai provinces, where he remained in a meditation retreat for the next 12 years. He was acting abbot of Wat-che-na in Chiang Mai in 1929, appointed under the direction of Bangkok authorities. When his superior, Pra-a-Pali, died this year, Archan Mun fled his temple without notifying his dependent monks or the monastic authorities in Bangkok. In the following years, Archan Mun established a meditation retreat on Cheong Dao Mountain's eastern slope and frequently meditated in the sacred, remote Cheong Dao caves. Initially, he wandered through the Mae Rim district of the Cheong Dao mountain range, staying in the forest through the dry and monsoon seasons that year. Archan Mun was again to Wat-che-na in Chiang Mai in 1933. From here, he wandered into Burma throughout the Karen and Shan states and spent the rains retreat at Macau Field Village in Mae Pong district. 1936, he spent the retreat near Phu village among the hill tribes. Then, the following year, he was in Mae Saui district, Chiang Rai, among the Laoi tribes. In 1940, at age 70, Archan Mun began the return journey to his homeland of Isan in northeast Thailand in response to the persistent urging of his senior disciples. He first traveled down to Bangkok, then northward to Korat. He lingered in the vast mountain jungles of Nakhon Ratchasima, staying at Wat Pa Salawan. When he arrived in Udon Thani late in 1940, he stayed at the temple Wat Bogasamphan, where his disciple Jiao Kun Dhamachedi was the presiding abbot. From there, he went to Wat Non Niwet for the rains retreat. After the rains retreat of 1940, He wandered in the countryside near Ban Nong Nam Kem village, revisiting the familiar landscapes of his youth. At the age of 70, he was still able to take care of himself and get around in the wild environments. In 1941, he stayed at Wat-Nan Nuet Monastery in Udon Thani. After that, he traveled to Sakon-Nakhon and first resided at Wat-Sutawat Monastery. He then moved to a small forest monastery named Phu Pond Hermitage near the village of Ban Na Munde. Phu Pond Hermitage was in a remote forest, far into the wilderness, which took 3 or 4 hours from the nearest village. Archan Sao Kantasalo Mahadara, Mun's first teacher, died in 1942. After that, Archan Mun moved to reside even deeper into the forest. At age 75, Archan Mun settled permanently at his Phu Pond Hermitage in the deep forest at the head of the Phu Phan Mountains near Sakon Nakhon. Due to his weakness, Archan Mun died in 1949 at Wat Sutavasa in Sakon Nakhon province. Now let us chant the preliminary prayer. Before chanting to any Thai Buddhist statue or amulet, first, chant 3 times of this initial mantra. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Buddhassa.
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Buddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Buddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Buddhassa.
ปัญจมาเรชิโนนาโถปัตโตสัมโพธิมุตตมังจตุสัจจังปกาเสติธัมมะจักกังปวัตถยิเอเตนะสัจวัชเชนะโหตุเมชยมังคลังปัญจมาเรชิโนนาโถปัตโตสัมโพธิมุตตมังจตุสัจจังปกาเสติธัมมะจักกังปวัตถยิเอเตนะสัจวัชเชนะโหตุเมชยมังคลังปัญจมาเรชิโนนาโถปัตโตสัมโพธิมุตตมังจตุสัจจังปกาเสติธัมมะจักกังปวัตถยิเอเตนะสัจวัชเชนะโหตุเมชยมังคลัง
May the grace of Archan Mun protect you and bless you with peace, health, happiness, wisdom, and compassion, and be disease-free for everyone.